Hello, lovelies, the Purple Fam, and all the beautiful people out there. Hey, it's your girl, Simone RC. I am your host through the music that has shaped this internal soundtrack, the 90s. Specifically, the music of Prince. Now, this is a celebration for the true funk soldiers, old and new, of Prince's albums from the 90s. No ranking, no critiquing. This is about revisiting, rediscovering, and honoring the creativity and genius of an icon, giving Prince the flowers he rightfully deserves. Today we're going to dive into something special. The music and the message, the super duper magic of Prince's 1990 release, Graffiti Bridge. Now, this is Prince's 12th studio album, and it's a lot more than just a collection of songs. This album is the official soundtrack to the film Graffiti Bridge, which Prince wrote, directed, and starred in. And yes, it's technically the sequel to Purple Rain. Now, this movie did not land with everybody. The critics didn't quite know what to make of it. The music is where Prince shines. And that's where we're going today to talk about. The album is bold, spiritual, funky, and full of purpose. It blends genres of funk, rock, gospel, synth-pop, and even a little bit of psychedelic soul. More than anything, it shows Prince stepping into a new chapter in his career, musically, emotionally, and spiritually. Graffiti Bridge isn't a solo spotlight either. It's packed with collaborations, and Prince was generous with the stage. It features Morris Day and the Time, Mavis Staples, a 13-year-old Tevin Campbell, and George Clinton. And there is so much beautiful solo material. You've got Still Would Stand All Time. That's like a spiritual centerpiece. New Power Generation, part 1 and 2 was a declaration and the name of Prince's future band. Thieves in the Temple. It was mysterious, hypnotic, haunting, and the track hit number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100. Thieves in the Temple has been criticized for its use of religious imagery and depiction of violence, and some interpreted it as sacrilegious and exploitative. The album has been criticized for its being inconsistent in its tone and its narrative, which some found confusing or offensive, and its depiction of women was just off the charts to people that listened to the album. But unfortunately, Graffiti Bridge earned the Parental Advisory Explicit Content label. Now, Prince was one of the main inspirations for the Parental Advisory sticker. Ironically, his most explicit albums do not contain the sticker, but that's a lot due to the fact that the albums were released before the whole parental advisory went into effect. The 90s albums that I found that have the parental advisory sticker are Love Symbol, the Black Album, Come, Chaos and Disorder, and Emancipation. Now, keep in mind, the sticker was added to some of the Emancipation CDs at the time and not actually embossed into the cover like Come and Chaos and Disorder. Now, in the mid-1980s, Tipper Gore, who was the wife of then Senator Al Gore, purchased a copy of Purple Rain as a gift for their 11-year-old daughter. However, it was intended to be a family-friendly introduction to popular music, quickly became a moment of reckoning. In her book, Raising PG Kids in an X-Rated Society, Gore recounts the pivotal experience. When we brought the album home, I put it on our stereo and we listened to it together, and we heard the words to Darling Nikki. You all know the words to Darling Nikki. She described it as deeply embarrassing both to herself and her daughter. At first I was stunned, she wrote, but then I got mad. Millions of Americans were buying Purple Rain with no idea what to expect. Okay, Purple Rain was a rated R movie, and this album was the soundtrack. Thousands of parents were giving this album to their children, and many even younger than my daughter. Bad parenting. Sorry. That experience became the catalyst of Gore's next move, the formation of the Parents Music Resource Center in 1985. Along a group of similar concerned political spouses coined as the Washington Wives, Gore co-founded the organization to advocate for greater oversight of music deeming excessively violent, sexually explicit, or otherwise inappropriate for children. All this off of darling Nikki. One of the PMRC's most notable actions was the creation of a list known as the Filthy 15, a collection of songs they believed warranted parental advisories or outright censorship. This list included high-profile artists as Prince, Madonna, and Twisted Sister, and became a flashpoint in the national conversation about free speech, youth culture, and the role of media shaping values. The PMRC's advocacy ultimately led into the now familiar parental advisory label, a tool still used today to warn consumers of explicit content in recorded music. Back to Graffiti Bridge. Lyrically, Prince is in a different space here. There's still desire, sure, but that's part of who he is. But there is also reflection, purpose, and a growing focus on faith, morality, and transformation. This is Prince trying to elevate, not just entertain. Now, commercially, Graffiti Bridge wasn't his bestseller. It peaked at number 6 on the Billboard 200, but success isn't always about the charts. Over time, this album has earned a place as one of his most visionary and experimental works, a true artist's risk that only Prince can pull off. In many ways, Graffiti Bridge is exactly that, a bridge. It connects the fire of the 80s to the reinvention of the 90s. It's where Prince started to shed that mainstream expectation and leaned in fully to his role as a musical prophet, a creative rebel, a truth teller. So, whether if you're hearing it again or for the first time, give Graffiti Bridge a listen. Let it wash over you. Let it challenge you. Let it remind you why Prince is truly one of a kind.